Hey everyone, welcome to Spiral Emanations. I'm Sky Gracely, coming to you from a very sunny and incredibly hot Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're melting like me or just hiding out in an air-conditioned room, we are so glad you're here. If you can believe it, the 4th of July just passed, so happy belated Independence Day to all our American listeners. And Mandela Day is coming up soon, so global love to everyone celebrating that. So today's show is all about a wild story that's been breaking in the news. A deadly attack on a cargo ship in the Red Sea called the Eternity Sea. Something about it just feels off.
And I'm Rhys Barrows, joining you from a thunderously dreary London, as usual. This summer's weather here is mostly just rain and stubborn grey skies. But our news cycle is always hot. Shipping news never reaches the front pages unless something's seriously wrong. The Eternity Sea story is getting attention everywhere.
If our audio ever sounds a little too crisp or magically cleaned up, you can thank Brian. He's our behind-the-scenes tech wizard, making sure everything sounds great. He fixes all the weird sound quirks and levels us out. Now, with us today is someone absolutely perfect for this topic. Please welcome Jade Mosotho. Jade is a crypto-linguist, a shipping analyst, and from what I've heard, possibly the world's leading expert on reading weird ship logs. Jade, we're so glad you're here.
Thank you, Sky. It's wonderful to be on with you both. I'm calling in from Durban, South Africa, and I'm honestly just excited to finally talk about some truly strange shipping tales on air.
Welcome, Jade. Durban is a gorgeous city. I have fond memories of a summer spent storm watching on the bluff. We're thrilled to have you here.
So, just to set the scene for anyone still catching up, yesterday there was a deadly attack on the Liberian-flagged bulk carrier Eternity Sea, right in the middle of the Red Sea. News outlets everywhere are calling it another chapter in regional chaos, but we're gonna dig a little deeper today.
Let's get everyone up to speed. This is the story, straight from the wires. On July 7th, the Eternity Sea, a bulk cargo carrier flagged out of Liberia, was attacked in the Red Sea. 2 crew members lost their lives. International media are calling it an act by Yemeni Houthi militants tied to a recent breakdown in ceasefire talks with the US government. A very tense situation all around.
If you're not super familiar, the Red Sea is like one of the most important shipping routes in the world. It connects the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean through the Suez Canal. Almost 10% of all global shipping goes through there. So, whenever something goes really wrong there, it isn't just a local problem, it messes with global trade, prices, just everything.
But if you spend time in these maritime circles, as Jade does, you start to notice that not every headline tells the full story. Jade, you follow shipping anomalies for a living. Does anything about this Eternity Sea incident strike you as particularly unusual?
Right away, yes. There's how the attack happened, sure. But it's the timing and some of the shipping manifest codes that really set off alarms for me. I track encrypted signals and strange log entries along these trade routes, and this one started buzzing well before the news broke.
So, can you talk a little bit about what you look for? Like, what does it mean to track anomalies in shipping?
Absolutely. Normally, analysts stick to insurance risk and known crime trends. I go further. I look for patterns that match old warnings, strange coded references, and shifts in encrypted radio traffic. When you see certain tags or symbols in manifests, it's a signal that something much stranger than piracy might be in play.
So, you're saying even before the public heard about this attack, there were warning signs something was off?
Exactly. Some of the radio chatter and the way the ship's logs synced up with older, forbidden cargo lists, it just didn't fit usual explanations. There were whispers in the paracode world days before the headlines hit.
That, to me, is always the real story. It's never just what's above the surface. Jade, what is it you think was actually at stake here?
Okay, so, can you, walk us through what actually felt wrong or weird about this incident? What kinds of, codes or patterns are you talking about?
For sure. There were encrypted shipment tags that matched rare patterns I've only seen in a handful of cases, what we call forbidden cargo manifests. These tags turn up when you're dealing with, let's say, material that regular law or commerce can't actually describe.
We've talked before about cargoes that are in a sense more dangerous than just explosives or chemicals. Are you saying this was one of those? Something with a very different kind of risk?
Yes, but it goes even deeper. What I found pointed to something beyond ordinary black market goods. There's a practice, long hidden, of moving certain artifacts, but not just any artifacts. I'm talking about sealed containers meant to imprison literal supernatural entities. This wasn't just another dangerous shipment.
Wait. So, are you saying this ship was like carrying, a monster? Or some kind of, like, magical demon in a box?
That's almost exactly right. There's a creature known in very old regional legend as the White Beast, Al-Wash al-Abiyad in Arabic. My family has stories about it, all the way back to fishing communities along the African coast. Boats vanishing, storms coming out of nowhere, sightings of pale shapes moving under the waves.
This is like so wild. I mean, most news just says pirates or terrorists, not an ocean monster.
People assume it's all just myth, but the deeper patterns keep turning up, especially during these rare transfers. I noticed log entries referencing shifting containment protocols and unusual route adjustments. That's not piracy, that's something secret and old.
So the Eternity Sea wasn't really about standard cargo at all. It was participating in one of these rare, concealed supernaturals and transit operations, and someone wanted to intercept it.
Exactly, Reese. Something, or someone, was waiting for it. And when that seal broke, that's when everything changed.
Let's dig deeper into the lore for a minute. Jade, what do we actually know about this white beast, historically? Where does it fit in all these overlapping legends?
There's mention of the White Beast in records stretching from ancient Sumeria to the old Egyptian coastal cities, even echoes in Ethiopian and Indian maritime stories. It's not just one area's folklore. Everywhere, it's described as a soul eater that stalks the sea at night, with a voice that could sink whole fleets. The legends say King Solomon himself, with help from Sumerian sages and Atlantean engineers, trapped it using a mix of brass, crystal, and runes, all methods nobody could quite replicate since. The bindings draw on geometry, star positions, and codes that shift with the sky.
That's the same Solomon Western esoterics revere as master of the 72 seals, not just a temple builder, the original supernatural warden. He had both occult tech and political clout.
Exactly. But the bindings can't just last forever. Every century or so, the containment starts to wane, especially with cosmic alignments and even new technology affecting the harmonics. When that happens, the entity has to be physically transferred to a new warded vault. These transfers coincide with spikes in ghost ship stories and mass disappearances.
So, like, people actually have to move this monster in real life in a reinforced container or whatever?
Yes, Sky. It's a mix of the old, ritual, runes, tradition, and the ultra-modern. Special containers guarded by people who know the old codes. The guardians of the seal, who blend in as merchant mariners or shipping officials. Sometimes it's just one extra box on a manifest, one that's never supposed to open. But their enemies always try to catch these shipments mid-transfer. The Sadat al-Na, a secretive cult whose name means Lords of Fire, have been trying to reclaim or unleash these gods for centuries. And when they get involved, regular piracy becomes something much, much darker.
This sounds like, way more than business as usual. So all those, like, weird ship disappearances in history, they could be connected to failed transfers?
Exactly. Some of the most famous maritime losses in the region, like the sinking of Thonis or the stories of ships lost without a trace, line up with failed or contested transfers in these secret archives.
So even the tragic events in modern headlines may just be the latest round in a war older than any nation-state. That's the true story bubbling up into the news cycles. Let's talk about what happens now. Jade, what are the modern consequences of a transfer going this wrong? Is it just business disruption or something darker?
It's truly both. Since the attack, you have dozens of insurance companies raising rates overnight. There are whispers of naval task forces blocking off random sea lanes, but below the surface, it gets stranger. Right now, Secret teams from different societies, some using high technology, some relying on ancient tools, are in a desperate hunt for the escaped white beast. If it's not recaptured quickly, we'll see ripples in shipping schedules, abandoned ships, and maybe even vanishings just like the old days.
So, okay, like, for most regular people, what does this even mean? Are we just like talking weird TikToks and scary online rumors? Or is it more than that?
For most people, it'll look like profit losses, weird headlines, TikTok rumors, and viral videos of something strange trailing ships at night. Maybe some odd radio static. But unless you're on those waters, or exceptionally unlucky, it remains hidden.
I'm just picturing people on container ships like seeing something huge and pale under the waves. Has anything that wild actually happened yet?
There are already a couple of ships that dropped off AS tracking unexpectedly, and at least one crew reporting white shapes and disembodied voices in the fog. Most will be covered up, but the stories leak, always.
What's most disturbing to me is how routine this actually is. These ancient dangers don't go away. They just slip back beneath the surface and wait for their next moment.
If this isn't resolved, we'll see more of those ghost ship stories and viral vanishings. That's what happens every time the seal goes wrong. It's not just a myth, it's a recurring risk.
Wait for the first of a ship-tracker TikToks really differently now. You know, when a cargo ship vanishes or suddenly reroutes, I'll be thinking, was that a monster hunt?
Honestly, the way things are going, I might reconsider my plan to rent a little house on the coast this summer. Maybe it's safer to stay inland, just in case the white beast is feeling adventurous.
Oh my God, Reese, you just don't want to risk sea spray ruining your silk cape collection.
You say that, but it's the logistics that really frighten me. If the Sadat Al-Nar can infiltrate global shipping, what hope does my dry cleaning have?
I live near the harbor, so I just keep a protective sigil on my travel mug and try not to look too long at the water when the moon's out.
Honestly, I'll never think about insurance rates or container ships the same way again. Thanks for that, Jade.
There are hidden worlds in everyday things if you just pay attention. Monster hunts and old superstitions, now with a shipping invoice attached.
Jade, thank you so much for joining us today. You've officially made container shipping both way more interesting and way more terrifying. Listeners, you can find Jade's Maritime Mystery newsletter in our show notes, and definitely check out her socials for more wild stories. Next week, we've got an episode I'm super hyped about. We're talking strange weather interference in the Arctic and what might really be causing it. So be sure to follow, subscribe, and share Spiral Emanations with anyone who loves a little mystery with their news. Huge shout out to Brian, our sound engineer, for keeping our voices crystal clear, even when we're shrieling about monsters in the fog. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. Stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, the world's definitely weirder than you think.